How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, guys? Sorry we're late. This is a me problem. Sorry, I'm the problem here today. It is a Monday for the Bostonian versus the book. Dave Sharapan, Matt Perrault. Lots to get to today. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about what the hell happened to my hockey team and how they fell apart brutally, fell on their face, choked, whatever you want to describe it as, horrific fall down nastiness. Sports Grid, thank you for being here. YouTube and Twitter, we apologize for you guys being late. Thank you. If my mic goes, this is why we might be late. We are having mic problems. So Dave and Farra may have to carry the show for a while if my mic goes out again. I think it's okay, but I've been like rummaging through all of my tech stuff, and my room in here is a complete disaster, and I can't figure out how to replace the mic. I got it working now. Let's hope. How are you, sir? Thanks for bearing with me.
It better work. We got a lot of people watching the show. Everybody's here to see how you react to your team losing, how you react to troll videos, how you react to everything, how a team could possibly lose when the other team's getting paid. The other team are professionals. It's unbelievable how a favorite could lose.
Right.
Like, it's shocking.
It is.
And it's almost just as shocking as, like, the best part is when they do it, they wait until they do it, like, right when it happens. It's a good conversation. I'm glad there's enough people here watching. Thank all of you for coming. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. This is good. Please.
Yeah, we'll have a lot to get to. Before we get to all that, let me just do some housekeeping for a second, because we are excited. It's May, okay? So there's some new things coming on board, and we have a couple of new sponsors who are starting. We talked about this during the Discord channel. Another reason why being in the Discord channel for us is going to be a lot of fun is because, well, one, you can communicate with us 24/7. But it's also a place where we're going to put some of these offers that we're going to be talking about. We can't put links on the screen.
Cannot do it. We're not doing it. Before anybody comes at us, we're not doing that.
We can't do it. It's part of our agreement with Sports Grid that we will not put direct links, call to action, as they're calling it, on the screen. So we're going to direct a lot of you guys to the Discord channel to make it easy. We actually have a channel in our Discord that says literally sponsors of the BVB. That's where we're going to place the links, and these people like using promotional codes and like making offers. So as we add more and more sponsors to the show, that's where we're going to direct you guys to a lot, is to it's bvbshow.com, free to join, obviously, our Discord channel to be a part of it, because then you can get the quick direct link and we get credit and everything else. So you guys often have asked us, guys, how can we support you guys? How can we help you guys? This is going to be how we start to bring on these new sponsors and we start bringing on new people who are involved. If you're in the market, like say you might like a cigar or two, we have a new cigar company coming on board with Malalabe Cigars, which will be part of the brigade and part of what we're doing. So other stuff coming tomorrow and the rest of the week. We'll have new sponsors. Just FYI, bvbshow.com. Come in, be a part of the great brigade. Join us on the Discord channel. It's a lot of fun. If you're already part of Discord, it's really easy. You're just adding another channel. So it pops up on the left-hand side. You can toggle back and forth. I'm in 3 different Discord channels. I go back and forth all the time. So it's very easy to do so. All right, let's talk about the choke. Boston Bruins lose. They get knocked out. President's Cup. They go down. In your opinion, I have my opinions, but how did the Bruins do this? How did they manage to blow this against the Panthers?
Well, they didn't win game 5. And when you don't win game 5, when you're up 3-1, you allow life. And listen, the Panthers were awesome. Game 6 was, guys, if you're not watching it, it's hard to have an opinion if you're not watching it, but you at least can watch the highlights. Game 6 was a coin flip, back and forth, high scoring game. I think the Bruins lost because they left Allmark in too long. Game 6. And then the Panthers won it, man. The Panthers pulled the goalie. The Panthers scored first in game 7. And then we're down 3-2. And we're a minute and a half away from the season being over. Pulled the goalie, scored a goal, won it in overtime. It's this close. The margins are this close in hockey. These teams are this close a lot of times. And you get the right goalie in there, makes the right save at the right time, and puck turns and goes the other way. Other team can win. It's hard to justify that anybody's a 3-1 favorite before the playoffs start. It's incredible.
Look, the Bruins, I believe what happened to Boston is that they were tight. They were scared, and they didn't play their brand of hockey, and they made mistakes. Oftentimes when you're afraid to make mistakes, you make mistakes a lot. And I think what happens to all these teams when it comes to, and we'll talk about it for a second, we'll talk about all the teams with great records who have not won the championship. The first round of the playoffs is really hard, but when Marchand did not get that breakaway goal in game 5, which could have ended the series right then and there, and it would have been over. It would have been easy, done, we're moving on.
Right.
Didn't happen. So that was one. That was big. Bobrovsky came in and gave some stability and some belief. 2-time Vezina Trophy winner, who's at the tail end of his career, but a guy who still is more, brings more experience. The team believes in him more than Alex Lyon, a 30-year-old journeyman who had made his first ever career start, which I was stunned that they started him in game 1, but they did. They lost game 1. The thing about the Bruins that I think hurts the most for people who are Bruins fans is because that it's the end of the run. This is the end of the Bergeron Marchand run. Krejci's not going to play next year, most likely. Going to go back probably to Sweden. We learned that Bergeron was playing with a herniated disc, which is really difficult to do. But
how do you do that?
The team went.
These guys are incredible. I don't know how they do that.
The team went 0-3 in the games he played in the series. How did the Bruins go 0-3 and the game started by Bergeron? It's crazy. It's an unbelievable stat, but he was there for the dot, and he was tremendous with faceoffs. But what else did he do? And did he miss assignments? Boston turned the puck over so many times. I said it the whole entire series. Boston can't win 4-3 hockey games. 7-5, 4-3. They went 1-3 in games in which more than 6 goals were scored. They won a game 6-2, but they lost their way. The Bruins were one of the best home under teams all season. They lost their way.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Florida earned it. Florida earned every bit of it. They forced the Bruins into those mistakes. They forced the turnovers. They were the better team. They absolutely earned it. There's no debating. You cannot. This is why people are comparing it to like the championship loss for the Patriots in 2007. And I can tell you, I felt way worse about that than I did last night. The Bruins losing in the first round, losing stinks. When you lose doesn't really matter to me. But if you lose in the championship game, when you get all the way there and you lose right before, only one team gets to celebrate a championship. So losing in the first round to me is okay. I mean, losing the second round would have stunk. Losing in the third round would have stunk. It all stinks. Losing sucks. There's no way around it. But in terms of like, ouch, I mean, the Bruins are young. They've got Pasta locked up for a long period of time. They got 2 good goalies. They'll probably trade one of them in the offseason and try to find some additional assets. They picked up a couple of really good young players at the trade deadline that could help next season. The Bruins aren't going anywhere. And the thing about losing for me, and I'm going to practice what I preach here, 2007 sucked, but then they went off and won 2 more Super Bowls, the Patriots did. 2003 sucked for the Red Sox. They won 4 more championships after that. Sometimes losing like this and turning the page and closing the book on the Bergeron era could really be a good thing for the Bruins going forward.
Right.
They're talented. We know they're good. They just set the record for the most wins ever in the regular season. But the question is, why do so many of these teams that have great regular seasons, why do they all fall short? It's not just hockey. I mean, the Patriots had it happen. It's happened in baseball with the Seattle Mariners.
The Bucks just lost as the 1 seed. It actually happened in the NBA for the first time in a
Yeah,
while.
right. Milwaukee. Yeah,
Um,
Milwaukee just got beat.
you
Why
know,
is having the best regular season not good
it
for your
puts the
postseason team?
target. It puts the target on you. I mean, that's
Mm.
immediately you get everybody's best shot. I don't know. I thought Giannis's quote was beyond wisdom, but was so well said.
Mm.
Because there's people that like to measure wins and losses just with championships.
And I'm one of them.
Well,
I'm one of them.
you
But
got to
I
take the
understand.
heat then when you
Of
when you
course.
talk the talk, like you
Of
got to
course.
take the heat
But
in that
there's
regard.
learning. Correct. But there's learning. It's always, you don't ever lose. You learn. As long as you're
Well, you
learning,
know what? You learn a lot in winning too. There's
I
people
don't
that
think
got to
so.
learn how to
I
win.
don't think so. I think you learn
I
how
think
to
you got.
win.
I
You
think
learn
you
it,
got to learn how to
that
win.
comes from losing.
But it
You're
comes
gonna
from
learn
losing.
how
But
to
it
win because
also,
you
when
lose.
you're winning, you can win the right way and you can win the wrong way as well. Like, just
What do
keep
you mean?
that in mind.
What do you mean? Give me an
There's
example
a
of
way
being.
to learn how to. You got to know how to win. You can win and be fucking humble too.
Oh, sure, of
You
course, but
know,
like, but
you
so
can learn how
you
to.
mean after the
You
fact,
can win with class, and you got to lose with class.
right? But I'm talking about in the actual process of the game. Learning how to win comes from losing. You're gonna learn how to get over the hump. The Maple Leafs just got over the hump. They just got over that first round. Couldn't get past the first round. Now they're the odds-on favorite to win the cup.
Odds
So
on favorite to win the cup.
So,
Think
like, I
about
think you
that.
do have to you do have to the way you learn how to win is by losing. You have to have that defeat. You have to have that defeat. You have to taste it, go through it, walk the fire, and then you're able to come out on the other side and learn from it. I don't know if you can losing the wrong, winning the wrong way is what happens after the fact, like Dylan Brooks type of stuff, that stuff. I don't
He
subscribe to,
hasn't
but
won nothing, so you can't
well, he
even
won. I
say
mean, yeah, they won a
he
game and
hasn't won
talked.
nothing.
Right, but they won a game against the Lakers, and he talked, and then LeBron came back, and obviously what happened with the Lakers and the Grizzlies.
Well, so the Bruins fans then do a Dylan Brooks by
No, no,
talking
no, no,
about the
no,
regular season and then them losing? Like, what is
no.
that?
They
I don't
lost. I mean, I
understand
think
it.
it's a great experience for the Bruins to go through that, to sit there and go, all right, the regular season, the Patriots played differently after 2007. They really started to. They didn't care about going 19-0 ever again. They never went after that record ever again. It never became even a conversation point. And I think, the regular season record now for the Bruins, if they ever have a great regular season, they'll go back to it and say, it doesn't matter at all. What happened was great. We set the record, but it doesn't mean anything because we're here to win a cup. So they didn't accomplish the goal. The goal was to win the Stanley Cup championship, and they did not do that. So, but it's an interesting thing about saying, is the season a failure? Like, did the Bruins fail? And I think the only answer to that is yes. But the story's not over. The Buck story isn't over. Like, it's not like we don't stop playing. The superstars that are going to be on the Bruins that were on this year, there are a couple of them that will retire. But Giannis comes back next year. Pasta comes back next year. Charlie Coyle comes back next year. They've got some really good, talented players that'll be on the Bruins. They'll be right back in the conversation again next season.
I don't know if it's a failure at all. I mean, they lost. Okay, so they didn't win the championship. You said one team wins the championship. So everybody fails. Now we go back to the Giannis quote, which again, I think there is no failure because it's sports. So we can talk ourselves in circles. I just know that there's we talk about a lot of things on the show, and there's a lot of people watching the show. There's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things, just in general, period, in life. And you know, um, it's good for the Panthers. It's good that they won. It's bad for the Bruins and the fans. And then, yes, they lost. And, literally people show up today for the first time. If you're here for the first time today, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Welcome to the show.
I'm not devastated. If you're coming here looking for devastation, you're not going to find it.
Well,
It's a loss. It's a loss. I said it in February. I'm good. I've won more than I ever thought. ever thought in sports.
You keep
Bruins,
using that I word.
yes, my city. Yes, we won. My city
Oh,
won.
there we go. You
Teams
keep
from
talking
my
about
city.
like, just relax with the I because
No,
you
it's
didn't play anything.
correct, but
You've
it's
been a
my
fan of the
city.
team. Right.
The teams that I have supported since birth. I don't
Yes.
come in and come out. I'm wearing the Bruins hat for a reason today. It's
Yes.
because in success and in failure, you're a
Well,
fan. That's what being a fan means.
in
No,
fairness,
hmm?
you're wearing a Bruins hat because there's not a fucking Panthers hat anywhere on the western side of the United States. It's not like anybody could get a Florida Panthers hat anywhere
Right, but I wouldn't wear it
west
anyway.
of the Mississippi. No, I know, but, like, it's not like a lot of people are Florida Panther fans, let's be
No, right.
perfectly honest.
No, we'll get to that story
that's
in a second. Yes, I
well,
mean that they're having to close the
that's
borders to keep Maple Leafs fans from going to game 3. So, like,
it's
the
fun when these warm weather cities that have fair weather fans get good for a series or 2. It's
well,
fun.
Miami's different though because I wouldn't because we're a warm weather city, but I wouldn't classify Vegas and Miami fans as the same.
Why?
Oh, I think the Vegas fan base is way more passionate. Way more passionate.
What?
Oh yeah, I would put the Vegas fan base up against a lot of people's. I mean, the Vegas fan base is the way this city supports this team. It's amazing to me.
What?
You disagree with that?
They
Have you been to
support
Have you been to
it's that
Miami?
pocket of fans.
Hold on, wait. Have you been to Miami? Have you ever seen a Florida Panthers license plate? I can't go 10 feet in this town without seeing a Golden Knight license plate.
It's all brand new. It was like that when they got the team. They went to the Stanley Cup Finals against the Penguins in '96. It was crazy. That was 20 something years ago.
Okay. So you
They
think in
have an
20
established fan base. You know that, right? They're
who
still
Florida
in that city.
the Florida Panthers?
Yes.
Of course they do, but I think the Vegas fan base in terms of there's a lot of other things to do in Miami. How many fans showed up
We
to the
live in a
play?
place where there's a million things to do. What are you
How many
talking about?
fans showed up to the Miami Heat game against for
It's
no,
not,
that they,
it's not the
the-
Panthers. You can't use
it's the
one
whole
term with
city.
the
Whoa,
other.
whoa, whoa, no, 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 no. I'm talking about the whole entire. I go with the whole city. I'm not one of these people that
When's the
dissect
last time you were in Miami?
6 years ago. Well, what was it 2013? I was there in 2016. So whatever it was.
Okay.
So you look at I don't separate. I see Miami as a whole. I don't separate Panther fans and Heat fans. I don't separate Bruins fans from Celtics fans. There's different pockets in the city as to how the fan base reacts. But Bruins fans are Celtics fans. Celtics fans are Patriot fans. Patriot fans are Red Sox fans. Like if you're from Boston, I don't understand people that cherry pick. Like it makes no sense to me. They're like, well, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan and I'm a Laker fan. Like what?
We live in a city now with multiple teams. You think everybody that's a Knights fan is a Raiders fan?
Well, it's difficult to say that because the Raiders aren't from here. So the Raiders are
I
a
don't know.
transplanted city. I don't know. Maybe in 5 generations, maybe by the time like we're grandparents and it's, in 30 years from now, okay, maybe there's the case that people are going to be Raider fans, but the Raiders are struggling here for that reason. The Golden Knights are the team. Like, if I think of like a
Do you
Vegas
think that
fan,
like your Red Sox fans are Celtics fans and vice versa?
100%. Every Boston Bruins fan tonight is changing over we're all onto the Celtics, the whole city, like whole city's onto the Celtics.
Okay.
I mean, there are people who play hockey. Hockey is a little bit of a different animal because to play hockey is a commitment that is beyond. A hockey family is unique. Like I can pick up a basketball and go play basketball. I can go play pickup football with my boys and go play 7-on-7 touch or whatever. Hockey is different. You need ice, you need money, you need time, you need commitment. It's difficult to be a hockey family. So those people who are the diehard hockey people in New England, a lot of them are in New Hampshire, a lot of them are in Vermont and Maine, a lot of them are in Mass too. But it's a different world just because the commitment you need to be a hockey family is different. So Bruins fans are a little bit more on the obsessive side of the aisle because
I would argue that the Panther fans are a passionate fan base, but
yeah, how
in
many
the
Bruins
city
fans
of
got tickets
Miami,
for 3 and 4? You got to remember, games 3 and game 4. There were Bruins fans who invaded that place. I had friends who were at that game who were saying me going like, this is the Boston South. There were so many Bruins fans in game 3 and game 4.
of course, that's what happens here. It happens in a lot of these places.
Huh.
where there's teams.
I haven't been to a playoff game since the first season, so I can't say. But in the first year, that did not happen. The first year of the Golden Knights in the postseason, they were not fans from other markets. They kept them out, aggressively kept them out.
Okay.
I mean, I covered the run. I mean, you could not get a ticket. You were rarely seeing an opposing fan in the building during the Vegas Golden Knights playoff run. Now, this year, for what's going to happen in this next series, I don't know. If they've laxed it or they've made it more easily accessible, but I'll be curious to see how many Maple Leaf fans get into the building for Game 3. Like, there's a lot of fans trying to get down there for Game 3.
Well, I mean, it's a nice trip, warm
Sure.
weather, it's the beach, it's all of that stuff. But you don't think there's going to be Edmonton fans here on Wednesday?
Probably. I mean, I think they'll probably get in. I'll be curious how many though. I'll be very curious. I mean, the passion level for the Oilers and these Toronto and these Canadian teams is unbelievable. So I can definitely see them doing it. There's people from Edmonton who live in Vegas who would have the zip code to buy a ticket to get in. So that's another way how an Edmonton fan could get in on the secondary market. We'll see. Look, losing is always hard. Losing to Florida, I don't care about the geographical. People are like, we lost to a warm weather team. Like, no one's from Florida that plays on the Panthers. So I'm not really worried about that. Sounds odd to me that how do you lose to a team that, is from Florida? Well, same way you lose to a team from Vegas or you lose to a team from Seattle. It's the geographical location of the team doesn't mean those players are from that area. It's one of those things from a Bruins fan perspective that you had a lot going for you. You had a lot of things going right, but your coach who got fired last year for losing early in the playoffs is on to the second round, while Jim Montgomery is not. So that is an interesting dichotomy to look at, to go, Bruce Cassidy advanced to the second round. He got fired after losing in the first round last year.
1993 spring, second round of the Stanley Cup Finals, or second round of the playoffs. Pittsburgh Penguins were ginormous favorites against the New York Islanders. They had won back-to-back Stanley Cups. They had the best team in hockey, and it wasn't close. And they lost to the Islanders, who were a legitimate franchise, not in a warm weather city. It doesn't matter who you lose to, how you lose. It's a crushing blow for the fan base. Yes.
I mean,
the
Game
players
7 overtime,
pack their shit up and go home.
Game 7 in overtime is pretty bad. I mean,
Game seven in overtime at home is exactly how the Penguins lost in 93.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. So,
Same exact thing. Immediately just got up, took a walk, and then got a call while I was still at Penn State that a kid that I go to college with, who's my dad and his dad are friends, needs bailed out of jail. Went and bailed a kid out of jail, turned a page, moved on. My team lost. No big deal.
Right.
Life goes on.
He got bailed out due to the loss or just something totally non-related?
No. Something else happened.
Oh, okay.
And there was an argument.
I didn't know if you got into a fight over that.
Called me and said, "Can you go?" And I was like, this is perfect. My mom and dad are up here, actually, because that's when I got hit in my playoff game. And we had the concussion, and they came up to see the whole thing, so we were all hanging out. So I had a hell of a week that week. But, yes, losing stinks. But life goes on.
Yeah.
Good luck to the Panthers.
What do you make of the Maple Leafs being the odds-on favorite? Because I think the Panthers could beat the Maple Leafs. I haven't decided who I want to win the series yet because I'm not a very big fan of Toronto, and obviously not a very big fan of the Panthers. So I'm not sure who I want, but I was really surprised. Vegas is a little different than some of the East Coast books. They've got the Maple Leafs as the odds-on favorite. Edmonton and Toronto are tied here in Vegas.
Yeah.
For the most likely teams to win the cup. Do you buy it?
Pretty excited for the Toronto fan base that they beat Tampa, despite the fact that they probably got outplayed in almost the entirety of the series, except for maybe one game in totality. Multiple games they were getting outshot, getting out hit, all of it. and they somehow found a way to win.
I mean, the
the series.
game-winning goal was the series-winning goal was fortuitous. Bag shot off a skate.
It's crazy how that happens. We talked about it last night, and in full disclosure, I called you during the game,
Yes, you did.
and you hung up on me.
I did.
Let's
What did I say to you when you called me?
I believe you said, "What the fuck are you calling me for right now?"
Uh-huh.
Not hello,
No.
not what's up,
Nope.
which is usually how we greet each other when we
Uh-huh.
call each other.
Uh-huh.
But the phone rang. I called you after they scored to take the lead 3-2.
But I knew better.
And because I was actually like, wow, I wanted to see one, if you were watching it, and two, I wanted to see if you were running around your house excited because I jumped up when they scored that when Pasta scored that third goal. I was like, oh, that building erupted. And when I called, you said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Uh-huh.
I was
What
like,
are you
"They
doing calling me?"
scored. Are you watching the game?" "Of course I'm watching a fucking game." "Get off the phone." Click. And you
Uh-huh.
hung up on me.
Right.
And I was laughing and giggling and going,
Uh-huh.
he's actually he's living and dying this right now. This is
Oh,
good.
yeah.
This is what the Stanley Cup playoffs does to you.
Of course. It's not my
So
first rodeo. I mean, every
I
year I'm
know.
like this. Is it
I
but
know.
the problem that I've got at the end of the game, and this again, we talked about this off the air, but on the air. I don't understand. The Golden Knights did this, and now the Bruins did this. I don't get the philosophy, and I need somebody who's smarter with hockey to explain this to me. When there's an open net, why is there this gigantic fear in the postseason to shoot the puck at the open net? I know you could ice it. I get that. But the risk versus reward in that moment.
No. You can't ice it just haphazardly
But there's
because
an open
if
net.
you
Just
lose
you
the
might hit
face
it.
off, if you get a face off, if you give them one, you stop the clock.
Okay.
Two, you can't change lines.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
So three, you do all of that and put the face off in your zone, which if you're not great at face offs, or you could, lose a face off and get a quality scoring chance like that, it's not worth icing the puck to a lot of teams.
It is to me because you sit there and you wait and you pray. And then what happens? A puck gets deflected into the net, up, bang, overtime we go. I mean, I bet the over yesterday. I bet the Panthers plus 200 yesterday. I bet the Panthers plus 135 going into overtime yesterday. That game did not cost me. Those were all hedge bets off of a large future position I had with the Bruins, but I didn't lose any money on the Bruins by them losing. Didn't win any money either, but I didn't lose any money by the Bruins because it was clear, at least going into overtime to me, that every bit of that pressure cooker of the building was on the Bruins. There was no pressure on the Panthers after they tied it up.
When you watch these games more and more, and I hope people are watching them. I mean, because the game sevens are just amazing, but the games in general, the hockey games have been great. Like game sixes are good, game fives are good. They've all been really good and engaging, sporting events. But is the regular season becoming completely less and less
Nope.
important?
Well, look, I'm not the right person to ask because in the gambling space, I love it. Just keep going, bet it, keep going, bet it, keep going. So I don't look at the standings. I mean, I couldn't up until we got to March. Other than the Bruins doing what the Bruins were doing, I had no idea where anybody was. It didn't matter to me. Those weren't the numbers I was looking at.
Oh God. Snap your fingers. Hella. And there's the issue that we had hoped wouldn't happen. So snap your fingers. We still can't hear you. Wow. This is a dream for most people. The chat is going crazy with the fact that you still will not admit your inability
Man, this show just got way
to be
better.
right or wrong. It's great.
Shit,
So
man.
now in his own, the Gremlins cut Perrault's mic, which for the future of the show and our sponsors sucks because then we don't have a full show. But for the chat and people that love to hear you not talk, they're winning right now. This is crazy. So as the chat rolls through right there. Good job, Farra. Farra can still hear me. You guys can still hear me. Can you hear in the chat? You can hear? Yes. All right. Finally found the way to silence Matt. Chef Benny. Good job. Excellent. LOLOL, JC from KC. Just cut the mic for good, Trace Murray. My God. These people, they can't wait to come at you. It's fantastic. Listen, anybody that wants to do a show, let us know. Get a producer. We'll show up. We can do the shows with you. Would love to. Just keep coming. This is as exciting as the end of the game last night. Good job. That would be Kiefer. Nice job, sir. Jimmy Jack, it's got to be one of the tabs. It
No,
might be one
Can
of
you hear
the
me?
tabs.
Can you hear this?
Oh,
Well, this is through the computer. This isn't this mic. This is through the computer.
oh, you sound like you're at a distance away.
Yeah, because it's down here. It's like you're having a Zoom call. You're having a conversation with the Zoom call. But I can at least say, I can talk.
Side bet Shep said we should keep it like this forever.
What, having me be muted?
Having you be muted and just sitting in the background with your hat on and stuff. Would you believe that? It wouldn't be. I don't know if it would be as good of a show.
Yeah,
Oh
fun.
my God. Matt's best contribution ever. Silence. JS. These people, they're all big fans of you, sir. It's amazing.
It's easier. It's easy because, well.
Can you get closer to the microphone if we're going to do it this way?
Then the shot's going to get screwed up.
Oh, we'll keep the shot.
Yeah,
The shot has to stay like this. Yeah.
So I can't keep the shot, so that's why. I don't know, because it's either one or the other. I could disconnect the microphone and just talk.
Is the
camera?
Yeah, but we have to read lips.
Correct.
I don't want to read lips.
You actually wouldn't actually see me at all. You wouldn't see me at all if I did it.
Oh.
It would just be me.
Is this going to mess up the audio sponsors and things like that we have going? Okay.
It's a bad chord that I got to figure out. It's just when it went this morning and it worked last night and it was working all the way up until, the problem is I don't know how to.
Can you hear me?
How to reconnect.
Yeah, you sound great, Farra.
Well, I was going to say, Matt, if you want to reset your computer, I can just take your spot for a second while you reset it or whatever.
Okay, let's do that. I'll pop back
Let's
out.
do that.
See if I can fix it.
All right, we'll try that. Farra, stay right there. You're going to stay in Kazoo World?
No, I'm going to come down into his spot.
Ooh, look at this. All right. Don't mess it up, please. Everything's working. Look at that.
Boom.
Dude, that was like magic.
We just replaced one mouth with another.
From one mat to the next. All right. Well, listen, while he's not here, I mean, not that we're talking about him.
Having a tough run with the Bruins.
Oh, the technology. I mean, I can't believe it. He's usually not like this. It's usually me either being late from doing other shows or talking to other people about some other things. But yeah, he was uptight, really. I mean, and we tried a bunch of different things and we thought we had it working, but this was the danger. And this is what the problem of doing a live show. Sometimes these things happen. Of course, it would happen on the day when, if you get the audio portion of the podcast and listen to this show later, you will hear a couple different things in there today that you normally haven't heard before. So listen to the podcast, subscribe to the podcast if you like listening to just me. I mean, if you like listening to the show, you should probably listen on that. Farrah, what did you do yesterday? Can you fill the people in a little bit on what you did yesterday? Yeah.
I was with your boy DJ Thump, man. I know you're a huge fan.
How about
of him.
that?
I talked with
Love
him for a while. I told him that you're a big fan. His response was, "Well, at least I have one fan." He's a super funny, humble, very cool dude. But yeah, there's a residency. It's called Corey the Poet at the Rio.
Okay.
And we've done a couple shows so far. He's brought me on to help, with just filming stuff, taking photos,
yeah,
just whatever technical assistance I can bring to the table, kind of stuff. So, it's a cool experience. Very kind of out of my little realm of what I normally do is for production stuff. But Great show. Super like.
All right.
Very,
So
very original.
the chat is saying your mic is really low.
That's
They're
just 'cause
having
I'm talking
trouble
kind of
hearing
far
you.
away. It's because I
Okay.
don't have the booster on it. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, he's there. So that's
La.
good. Whoa, now you sound fan. Whoa. Dude, that was great, whatever you just did.
Yeah, it's just a setting on the
Okay.
thing. Boost it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Yeah, DJ Thump hosting the show. It's at the Rio. I was gonna come and meet you there and watch the show, but I went to lunch instead and did that. So that was good.
You had a how was Utah, man?
First time ever in Salt Lake City. Went up to see Big Consig play 2 games Friday, 2 games Saturday. As a dad, it was awesome. And I was one of 2 or 3 total fans rooting for a Vegas team up there. So everyone in the whole little field stadium was looking at us like, what are you people doing here? Why
It was your
here?
daughter's softball game. Is that correct?
Yeah, College of Southern Nevada at Salt Lake City.
Cool.
Salt Lake Community College, who's first in the conference. And they got humbled. Lost all 4 games, got rumrolled all 4 games. It's really interesting to see, how hard you put in all that work and then you lose. I mean, you got smoked. You know, they need to win 1 more game to qualify for the regional tournament. So they have 4 games up at another Utah school this weekend. I may make that trip as well because as a dad, you only get so many opportunities and the kids stop playing sports. So took an opportunity to go. Didn't pay 1 bit of attention to the NFL draft. I had off of Sports Grid Thursday and Friday.
Dude, I'm totally with you on that. I don't care.
Oh, dude,
I just
like,
don't care about it.
It's
It's
amazing because
especially because there's playoffs. It's basketball and hockey playoffs, game 7s. Like I'm like, why are we talking about this thing that isn't going to impact anything for a year?
It's crazy because like so many people have kind of taken it in the content space and made it about betting it. And I can tell you this, like that's the last thing I wanted to talk about. And someone in the chat came in and asked if I still talk to Morency. I'm on with Morency every day on Sports
Yeah,
Grid.
literally like every day, right?
From 4 to 7.
Yeah,
4 to 7 Pacific, 7 to 10 Eastern. You guys can go watch that on Sports Grid TV and wherever you get that stuff. But they did a draft special, which God bless them. We've had Mike Blewett on. Ben Stevens was part of it. Joe Lisi, all these people. They did that. I was off. So I took the opportunity to go. I was going to ask you, you kind of just said it. As a fan, I want to see who the Steelers drafted. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like as a Viking guy, you're right. You're like,
I would take any quarterback from the draft. Anyone. I don't care. Get Cousins out. I said that 5 years ago when he started, and guess what?
It's just one of those things where, I think it's interesting to see all this work that these kids put in to be celebrated on that day.
Mm-hmm.
And their lives are changed. Roger Goodell's given some weird, awkward hugs and dab ups and all kind of things. Like
he's probably trying to like relate to the players, even though he's like,
like there's a lot of things going on. Like
kind of just like, dude, just lose it.
Just shake his hand, smile for the cameras, take a picture, and then let the kid have the spotlight.
Yeah.
Like,
everyone knows you're a robot, dude. Just chill out. Like,
what is he holding on for dear life? Like he's hugging some of these kids and he's talking to them in their ear like he's their uncle for 25 years, saying, "Man, just take a moment, celebrate all this, eat it up." Like
in reality, the players probably can't stand the guy.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they know him yet, but they will. They only hear from him when it's bad. Like, what are you doing right now? It's just so strange to me. But I don't know. I didn't pay much attention to it.
Yeah, same. No, I was watching the games yesterday. I as a Lakers fan, I was watching that game, and I was kind of hoping that the Kings would win because the Lakers, I feel like, have a shot against the Kings. Against the Warriors, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
Steph goes out and drops a 50 bomb. I think most playoff points ever scored in a game.
Dude, how impressive was that?
Ridiculous.
Like, seriously, how impressive was that? And it was close in the first half. It was relatively close after the third quarter. And what he did in that fourth quarter.
I was watching the game. I mean, just like on my phone, I was doing stuff, but I was like, all right, this could go either way. And then
it like with 3 minutes left in the third quarter, it was close. And then they ended the third quarter, I think, down 10. The Kings did.
Yep.
And that's when I was watching, and I was like, they're not coming back. They're not. The line at that moment was 8.5. I tweeted it at Sports BK and was like, what do you think? Or I don't know what I said. I forget. But it was done. They never got closer.
No. Once Steph flicked that switch, I mean, he was an acrobatic, just mastermind the whole game. But once it came later in the game, I'm like, there's no way the Kings are coming back from this one.
Right.
And they didn't. Fell to me.
Do you think they can beat the Lakers? Do you think they will beat the Lakers? First thought, we're not holding anybody accountable, although if guys want to clip the show and then put it out later, do that. Please.
I would like them to, and I wish them goodwill, and I think the Lakers are definitely going to put up a staunch fight, go to either 6 or 7 games, but ultimately, I mean, it could happen, yes, but I don't think I'll be betting on that series.
So FanDuel right now has Golden State minus 150.
I mean, it's LeBron James against the Warriors. You take him off the court, you got no team. Like,
right?
Not really. 80 couple supporting cast, but come on.
Did the show with Moose and Keith this morning. Moose said that, or Keith said that the Lakers have 2 of the 3 best players on the court because it's Steph, LeBron, and AD. 2 of the 3 best players on the court makes them have better. By that equation, they're live to win. Not only did he think they were live to win, but he said they probably were going to win. But it wouldn't surprise. But he has a Lakers to win the West ticket, which from partaking in some wagering. Does that cloud your judgment when you try to look at it neutrally like this now? Do you look at it differently, or are you able to kind of step back and go, okay?
No, I'm pretty objective when it comes to betting. If anything, I do a ANIC. I bet against my own teams. I often bet against the Vikings and stuff like that just to.
Well, that works out for you. Yeah. Specifically betting against the Vikings. It usually works out
but if what I do like to what I do like to do is make a future wager, take I have an Oilers ticket to win it all, and then just as they advance, now I can start making other plays into that. It's the same thing I did with the Super Bowl, and you get to a point where you can't lose. You can't lose the cash. But just for fun, just because I like watching it light up, ask the chat: Lakers, Warriors, who wins the series? Let's see what the chat has to say.
First thought today. That's awesome. That's a good one to ask because series starts tomorrow, and we'll break that down when we get the microphone working. And
I got them coming back in. Let's see if this works.
Oh, hold tight. This is good.
We shall see
what we can do. As long as we can hear them. Yeah, boys in the chat, girls in the chat. If the girls are here, hi Winning, hi Julie. Hi, whomever else is there. Kendall's not here.
Goodbye, chat. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.
That's it. No!
Hi.
Bam, 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 bam. Back.
Google is a fun thing. So
I
think I fixed
it.
I don't know. I think I fixed it.
Don't say a word.
I think I fixed it. I had to
reset. You sound fine. You look fine.
I had to reset everything.
Okay, well, whatever. That's fine. So we asked the chat. We swung a couple topics and we got to the basketball.
Okay.
We got off the hockey.
Well,
Warriors,
hold on. Can we finish Can we finish it?
Can we finish what?
The hockey?
Sure. Let's. But I wanted to ask you while we have the chat's attention.
Yeah.
Golden State or LA Lakers?
I know. Can we get to that? It's on the rundown. Let's get back to it later.
What do you
I don't
think
want to
about
skip
people-
past New York, New Jersey tonight. It's too good. It's too good not to at least comment on it a little bit. I think the prevailing thought there is that the Warriors are going to win. So we can go back to that. But it looks like everyone's going to be on the Warriors.
You think?
Which is fine. Well, look at the numbers.
What numbers? The odds?
Matt, what is the point of the mic in front of you if you are using headphone mic? That's not what we use, my friend.
No, we're not.
Don't talk technical stuff to me, okay? Don't try to get it in my. You don't know what
I
we
thought
do.
you were not looking at the chat.
It's on the fucking screen. Get it off the screen and we're fine.
Stop looking at the chat.
I don't look at the chat during the show unless it's on the screen. That's why we don't put the thing on the screen. I want my blood pressure to stay at a somewhat normal level. Get it off the screen. There we go. Then we can we'll have that problem. You put it on the screen. My blood pressure is not. That's why I don't look at the chat. That's why you look at the chat. It's the whole point.
Don't
read
look at the
clown
chat.
comments. It's
Don't
easier.
Look at the chat.
I'm not
is
going to look at the chat. It's
question?
easier not to, because then I.
What is
then
the
I stay
question?
calm.
Get back on point.
Now the
What is
question
the question?
is: Boston,
Rangers.
Colorado, Tampa are all out. Who was the
Rangers
team
or
to beat?
Devils? I thought that
What?
was the question. Rangers or Devils?
Yeah, but we'll get in a second. But I want to comment the fact that the Kraken, which you were wearing their hat to start the show, the
I have it
Kraken
in-
knocked out the Stanley Cup champs last night on the road. We can't just totally forget about what Seattle did last night.
Damn right.
Unbelievable. I told you last week, they've got Golden Knight vibes. Like this team, they're playing with complete house money. They play extremely well on the road. Like the Panthers, they won 3 of 4 on the road in Colorado and won 2-1 last night. Didn't even win a high scoring game. Who's the team to beat?
Why do you always compare these teams to like Golden Knight vibe or see what Seattle's doing is completely different.
It is not. They're a second-year team. They became the first team to knock out a defending champ from an expansion standpoint. But it is Golden Knight. The Golden Knights made the Cup Finals in their first year. This is the Kraken's second year ever, first ever run in the playoffs, and they just knocked out Colorado.
Were a top seed. The Kraken were the lowest seed along with the Winnipeg Jets. Like they just
The Kraken were not the Krakens were the number 1 wild card seed, and they had more points than teams.
Second to last team.
Didn't they have more points? Didn't they have more points than some teams that had got in automatically? They had 100 points.
They were the 7th. They're the 7th of the
just
8
based
teams.
upon the way they bracketed it, though. Seattle had 100 points, correct?
Yeah, but Vegas was coming at it's just a little bit different than Vegas.
Who had
was
more
the
Who had more
seed.
points? Who had more points? Year 1 Vegas or year 2 Seattle? I think year 2 Seattle had more points going into the playoffs.
I don't know. We'll have to look.
I think Vegas had like 95 points going into the postseason.
Yeah.
I think there's very similar situations in terms of how the teams were built, what people were able to do, the way the city has been galvanized, how excited they are. I mean, the Kraken are live to win the West.
It was a hell of a game they played last night. That's a hell of a series. They scored first all 7 games.
First time ever that's happened. 7 games, 7-1 nothing every game.
Like that's not a coincidence.
Nope.
Right? That is a well-coached team. They got the goaltending when they needed it. And of the many, things that you say and may repeat yourself like I do as well over and over and over. The Kraken were the best team in the league on the road all season long. This is real. Like,
yeah, it's real. If they figure out their home ice, they could be really dangerous.
Well, listen, Dallas got the best goalie left in the West.
They may have 2 best goalies left. I like both their goalies.
Well, I think they could be beat in the
Dallas?
next round. Of course.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, look, if you told me they were going to win 2-1 on the road in Game 7 at Colorado, I would have gone, come off of it. Grubauer is going to do what? So, like, that's I'm stunned. Now, you could say, well, that review that pulled the second goal off of the board for Colorado had a lot to do with the 2-1 final, which is fair.
Well, I mean, it was offsides.
It was offsides. Yep, it was offsides.
I don't know if – I mean, the spirit of the rule is so – it's just weird that they just have to keep playing, and then they goal scored, and then they go, wait.
Let's go back.
You know, everyone on the bench goes, he was offsides. Guys upstairs check it. While they're playing, in case they score a goal, because if nothing happens and there's a pause of play, there's no review.
Right.
It's still offsides. I don't know. I knew immediately as soon as you saw the first replay, I'm like, that's offsides. That's no goal. You know, Dallas could win a Stanley Cup. Hello, right? If they have
this is why I waited to buy the Exactas, because I would have been toast. Because these 3 teams on the bottom, Cryon, would all have money on my money.
There's not a team left where I look at it and go, they can't win. They're not going to win the cup. Is there a team? Would you rule them out? Anybody?
Anybody.
Let's just do the West first. Dallas, Seattle, Vegas, Edmonton. Would you rule one of those out? Can't win the cup?
I want to say Vegas, but I've just never, I can't figure out how Vegas keeps on doing this, because I watch them play and I'm like, this team's not very good, and they keep on scoring or they win games. So if I had to rank them, I would say Vegas is the longest of the shots left, but they can definitely win it. I mean,
okay.
Can they beat Edmonton? I don't know, but
now do the East. Toronto, Florida, Carolina, and the winner of tonight's game between the Devils and the Rangers. Is there a team there?
The East is wide open.
Can't win.
Every team's live.
Hockey's different, bro.
Yeah.
Stuckey said it on Twitter and last night. It's hockey, bro.
Yeah.
It's hockey. I mean, we're going to put that on a T-shirt. It's hockey. How do you explain this? It's hockey.
Edmonton, I think, is going to be really interesting, because I want to. How much of a war is the series going to be with Vegas? Because the next round, if it is Dallas, that's going to be a war. Like, what does the West winner look like coming out? Because Dallas is going to be physical as hell, and Edmonton doesn't really play that way. Dallas wants to win games.
What are you talking about?
Dallas wants to be 2-1. Dallas wants to win a game 2-1, 3-2. Edmonton can't win games like that, or really don't want to. They'll win 5-4. They'll win 6-5. They give up goals like crazy, especially on the road. If it is Edmonton, Dallas, it'll be so fun, because that's the number 1 team that I would bet all year, home unders, against the number 1 team, road overs. That would be such a fun to see whose style of play wins out if those 2 teams play.
It's going to, I mean, if you haven't been watching, you should be watching the NHL playoffs. And again, we appreciate you being here and watching the show and stuff. And whether you bet the games or not, you're going to be entertained.
Definitely.
If you bet the games or take a couple shots with these exactas or futures, bet series plus 1.5 games, will a series go 7 games? I mean, if you pick the 7-game series, I think you would have picked Rangers Devils. I think you'd be sitting over 6.5 right now. It was big plus money. That was a good bet. The other one I thought would go 7 was Dallas and Minnesota and Toronto and Tampa Bay.
That did. No, it did not.
Didn't.
No, it went 6. No,
I went 6.
I went 6. I think it's going to be really an interesting look tonight, and we can move on to the game tonight, because like they're deciding to ride with the kid. You know, they're not putting Vanacek back in for this game 7. So much like the Bruins question as to who is going to play goalie, the Devils had a big question as to who's going to play goalie.
But he's been playing.
He has been playing, correct? Yes.
They threw Swayman in, and he hadn't even played.
Game 6. I don't blame Swayman at all. I thought Swayman in the third period was awesome. He saved the game like at least 3 times in the third period and overtime.
The first goal was brutal. The backhand.
It was soft.
That one was like
soft. I agree.
We did, he recovered, but that was that one that you're just like, oh, as soon as it was scored, I texted I texted my brother or something. I'm like, why is it always the backhand? Why is it
Because
those
they don't see it in
backhanders?
practice.
You could get the goalies all the time. We used to do it all the time in practice, and it was like one of those things. We're like, why can't they stop this, or why do they get messed up when you put the puck on the other side of your stick? It's so funny, but yeah, it wasn't Swayman's fault. I mean,
No.
the Panthers won the game.
Mhm.
It's game 7 tonight. I don't think there's an edge. Do you like over or under?
The game?
Yeah.
I'm only going first period. I have no idea what happens in this game otherwise. This could be wide open, back and forth, or this could be knuckle down, completely nail biting 2-1 final. I lean towards 2-1 final.
The way it certainly feels that way. Like the way the Kraken game went, if the road team can get the goal first, really constrict the game, muddy up the whole neutral zone, make it hard to get shots. That's the game. That doesn't have to be the road team in this situation. It can be either one. I mean, that's the way these games have gone. I'll be very surprised if this game goes over tonight. Very surprised.
Who wins?
You just told me you don't know. I certainly don't know. I
Who do you want to win?
completely flip a coin. I want the Rangers to win.
I want the Devils, so we can see who wins it. There you
Yeah.
go.
I
there's your
mean,
play.
but listen, if the Devils win, they could 100% beat Carolina.
Why is no one talking about Carolina though? Like they were the second best team in the East all year. Why is no one talking about Carolina? When I was on my walk yesterday, I was thinking about what bets I was going to make for the exactas. And I was like, no one's talking about Carolina. I think they can win the cup. Like, we're not talking about the second best team all year in the Eastern Conference. And it's just like all the focus has been on someone else.
It's just weird because like that whole pocket between Carolina, Tampa, Florida, those teams down there, they just don't. I don't know if they just don't get respect. I don't know.
Well, Raleigh's a small market. Okay. It's all they've got is hockey.
Right.
And it's a college town. It's much like Columbus with the Blue Jackets. It's, they gave them, they moved there. Hartford moved there, became the Whalers, took over the region. And their fan base are really passionate, but there's not much else going on there. So you just kind of like overlook it. Like there's not a basketball team or a football team. There's not other things going on. It's all in Charlotte. So I'll be very curious. I think the Hurricanes can win the East.
I mean, they're beat up.
They are.
They're beat up bad. And I mean, they played the Islanders in some nondescript, boring games that were very tight and had the win.
That's how they played all year, though.
I know, but that doesn't. We can't get clicks and we can't get people watching now if that's the way they play. So I think less and less people are talking about them, other than
because they're boring.
Hockey fans.
Give me a boring team that wins. I don't care if they're boring or not.
Well,
just win.
That's what they are.
Yeah, just win.
That's what they are. So
I'll be very curious. I mean, this next series will get attention because of the fact that they're going to wind up playing a team from New York, New Jersey. So the number one media market will pay attention. So we'll probably get more love. I mean, I was stunned. ESPN's got this game tonight. ESPN has a countdown clock going right now for this game.
For Devils Rangers?
I was like, this is why they
makes
did
that decision to make a countdown clock. What are you talking about? I'm watching baseball right now. Braves Mets is engaging 6-4, bottom of 6.
Because the reason, well, because
real?
they have the game. So because they have the game, they get to have it. So this is why ESPN. It's why the NHL did the deal with ESPN. It's because people now know way more. And look, I don't want to forget about TNT and TBS. They've done an unbelievable job. Their studio show, it's not as good as the NBA studio show, but their studio show is out bleeping standing. Lundqvist was great yesterday talking about all the different goalie changes and playing in Game 7. Yeah. It was awesome. Yep. I mean, Biz is just Biz, and he's just funny, and he's just a Looney Tune. I like their studio show. When Gretzky pops in from time to time, it's good. I mean, it's really, really good. and it's hockey is done. I remember the days when there was no coverage and nobody knew where to find the games, and they were on like Outdoor Network. Remember when it was on NHL games were on Outdoor Network?
I've been watching hockey games on so many multiple channels. I mean, during the bubble, it was on CNBC, and we're just trying to find the games on USA and trying to find the games constantly on different things. I remember watching it on Channel 53 when I was a kid back in the day on the UHF. You people have no idea what I'm talking about, but there was VHF and UHF.
Chef Betty knows this. TV 38 is where the Bruins were found. That's
there
where
you go.
Watched it.
Absolutely. You had to find it on the thing, and you had to get up and change the channel on the TV at either grandma's house or your own house.
I was the channel changer in my house.
Everybody had to do it at some point.
Change the channel.
Get up and change the channel. But there's no you got to say but one time, and then you understood every time they ask you to get up and change the channel, you change the channel. That's what you do. If you
Did you ever have to hold the rabbit ears? We ever made to hold the rabbit ears?
Brother Doug, that was his job.
Oh,
yeah, we made him hold rabbit ears.
Somebody's
got to do it. Somebody had to do it, but yes.
Worst. Okay, now we can talk basketball. Now we can talk Curry, who dropped 50 on the Kings. Do you believe in the theory that you have to learn how to win in the playoffs?
We just talked about this in the first few segments. You got to learn how to win in life.
It's different in terms of. I felt like the Kings. I don't know what happened in that game. How did they allow Looney to go crazy like that on the glass?
They didn't body him up. I mean, he just kept getting rebound after rebound after rebound.
It was like a video game. It was like watching a video game where your rebounder is at 99, everybody else is at 60. Like, it was ridiculous.
Again, we talked about it with the hockey. You got to have some sort of grit. There has to be that whatever level of whatever. I don't know.
Do you believe that teams play the way their head coach is? Do you believe that?
Nah. Sometimes a coach can make a team play a different style, but no, I think that's kind of hyperbole. Do you?
Because I don't know, because Mike Brown is like the nicest guy ever. And you can't be nice when you're playing the Warriors. You got to be mean. They looked too nice on the court. They were too kind. They needed to make that go like circa 1985. Like, just start hitting.
Would that have helped them stop Steph from getting putting up a 50 burger?
No, it would not have. No, but it would have stopped Steph from having 3 or 4 shots and have Klay Thompson have 3 or 4 shots in a possession. I mean, it was how many 4-shot possessions did they have in that game? It was ridiculous. I mean, not 2, not 3, 4-shot possessions. I was like, what is going on?
They were leading at halftime, right? The Kings were leading at halftime.
Yes, because the Kings defensively were playing tremendously well. And they were rebounding. And then everything went to hell.
Couple minutes in the third quarter, 3 minutes left in the third quarter. It's a close game. By the end of that 3 minutes, and as they went to the fourth quarter, it was a 10-point game. The in game was 8.5. And I was thinking, if they don't score and tighten this up in the first 2 minutes, this is a double-digit win. It's over.
You saw it, right? You saw that. It's a wrap. Yeah.
It's a wrap. And that would be one of those ones where, like, I've been sitting, because I tweeted it. I took the screenshot. It was 8.5. Total was 229.5. And I was like, there is no chance they're coming back and covering that 8.5 if they don't get it within 6 or 4 in the first 3 minutes. And they did not. And bye-bye, over. I don't know if they were too nice. They couldn't make a shot in the fourth quarter. And 2, they couldn't get the damn ball.
Yep. Sabonis played horribly in the second half. He was great in the first half. He was horrible in the second half.
Wow.
Looney owned him. He couldn't hit easy. How many shots did he leave short in the second half?
Percy just came in the chat and said the Kings have no nasty players, just like the Cavs. Would you compare them to the Cavaliers?
Which Cavs? This year's Cavs?
Yeah.
I guess so, but it's hard because the Knicks aren't the Warriors. So I don't think the Knicks knocked out the Cavs because the Cavs were too nice. I just think I think the Kings got similar to to the Bruins. Everything started going against them, and they had no way of stopping it. They couldn't change the momentum, and it went downhill on them.
Such a big win on the road in Game 6.
Yep.
Like, is that season a failure?
No, for the Kings, hell no. Oh my goodness gracious!
They
I don't
lost
think
the Game 7 at home where they were favored.
first time in 20 years making the playoffs, having a chance to get their young kids some experience and to believe in themselves. The light the beam thing next year is going to be unbelievable.
Oh,
No,
boy.
this is the Kings. No, I completely would disagree with that. That is a phenomenal. This is like a team making a bowl game with a bunch of freshmen. Get the extra practice, extra work. You get to go back to work. You want the year to start tomorrow. Like if the Kings would start playing games tomorrow, they would. Like, let's get after it. Next year, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with.
We shall see, man. That's the run up to being good and relevant is fun. Now staying there is a whole
New
nother
story.
another thing, man. There, ain't gonna be no mystery about lighting the beam and all that other stuff.
Right. They know you're coming. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what you're walking into.
You've lit the beam and told everybody you're lighting it. This will be fun going forward.
Talk about target on your back. Yep. Big time target on your back.
Yes.
Lakers Warriors. We get this in a semifinal for the Western Conference, not a final, not an NBA final.
Goodness.
Minus
I'm
158 for the
good with it.
Warriors.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
like the Warriors?
Oh God. Can you please just end it in 4? Please. Are we
Not
gonna
gonna
have to
happen.
listen to this Lakers stuff for another series? Oh.
I only hate the Lakers when they play the Celtics. I don't really hate them. I mean, I don't hate that Laker team. There's not many people. At least I've always liked LeBron. People hate LeBron. I've always liked LeBron. I think he says
I
dumb
like
things.
him until I don't. And then it's
Yeah,
so annoying.
He does. He is annoying. He's annoying, but he's been in the league for 20 years. And I don't know. I like Steph more than I like LeBron, but I dislike Steph because the thing that I want the Warriors to win this series for one reason only. Since the Bruins didn't do it, I need Celtics Warriors final. I need revenge for last year. So I get that.
You gotta
I don't get the Bruins.
You gotta let
I don't get that. Nope, not letting you go.
gotta
So
let
I don't get the Bruins. I don't get the cup. Now I get the championship, but I don't just want the championship. I want the championship over Steph. Okay. I want the title over the Warriors. I want revenge. I want revenge for that. That's what I want. I want revenge for that.
What if you lose to the Sixers? There ain't gonna be no revenge.
Sir, the Celtics are minus 560 to win the series. Okay.
Damn it.
So I'm not really, your boy is hurt. He's not injured. He's hurt. So as everyone says, if Embiid can't play, you have no shot. If he plays, they got a shot. Doesn't play, you got no shot. But more on that in a second. So we like the Warriors in what? 6?
I just want them to win. I can't. I don't know if I could take this whole Lakers nonsense for another round.
Is it the Lakers or the people who have bet on the Lakers? Which bother you more? It's a long pause.
It's a pick 'em.
Okay. Okay.
That's a pick 'em. Like, I don't know if I got one more than the other. The
Okay.
Laker fans in the books, they wore me out. They wore me out. Like, I just can't.
Speaking of people who cherry pick fan bases, yes.
Woo!
They're full of it.
Man, they
Duke,
come in the books
Lakers,
and they got all, and
you
I
know.
got all the Laker stuff. Like, I've been accumulating it. It's all been on sale. It was all on sale all season long. They were giving away these classic Laker jerseys for like $10.
Nice.
I was like, I felt like I was going around getting like garage sale items. It was all cheap. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. They were 50-1 to win the West. 80-1 to win the NBA championship. But then they turned the page.
Well, trade deadline made a bunch of big moves. Yeah. Changed the roster up significantly. Pelinka did a really good job of bringing in some guys that were going to help. The only person I find really annoying on the Lakers is Austin Reeves is a really annoying guy. Like, for him to be on your team, you love him, to play against him or be a fan of against him is really annoying.
What are you talking about? That's the guy I'm rooting for. I love
Yeah,
that
he's
shit.
annoying. He's annoying as hell.
What?
I'm sorry. You can't. I'm sorry. I'm not going to allow anybody running around on the court saying I'm him with LeBron on the court. Nope, not happening. Not going to be. I can't.
That's what
I can't
the
get involved.
kids do now.
That's fine. Jimmy Butler can do it. That's about it. Jimmy Butler in the Knicks yesterday. Miami steals home court from New York. Butler, though, is hurt. If Jimmy's not effective for the rest of this series, can the Heat beat the Knicks? I am so scared of Jimmy Butler in the Heat as a Celtics fan. That is not what we want. Back-to-back losses to Miami would not be a fun thing. And it could absolutely happen if the Heat get past the Knicks.
What's the lesser of the two evils as far as the fan bases, the Heat or the Knicks?
It's a really good question. I think I would say the Knicks.
Really?
But just because the Knicks haven't been good for a long time.
Oh, that's why that'll be worse.
I mean, Bing Bong is way more annoying. New York sucks. We hate them. So that's obviously we had the Boston New York rivalry. So like, and I want to just shut up every one of those Ranger fans who were talking smack last night on Twitter. So like, it would be beautiful because Ranger fans are Knick fans. So that would be beautiful to have that combination. I'm way more afraid of the Heat than I am the Knicks. I'm not really afraid of the Knicks. I am petrified of the Heat.
Oh, as far as the Celtics playing them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%. They're so gritty. They're so tough. They believe Spoelstra, as I said, after they beat the Bucks, he's a Hall of Fame coach. I wasn't there yet. I put him in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's in him up against a 34-year-old Joe Mazzulla. Uh-oh. Do not like that coaching matchup at all. If it's Boston, Miami. No. Not a fan of that matchup at all. There's a big belief in that locker room that they got Jimmy Butler and they'll have the best player on the court, and it's a hard thing to argue.
We got Raymaker Lou saying to grab the Knicks at plus money for the series right now. We got Percy coming in the chat saying video just dropped of Jimmy being mobile.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't see the video. Was it bad what Jimmy did to his ankle? Was it bad? Bad?
I don't think it was bad. He was a decoy, though. He said it. He was a decoy the whole fourth quarter. Like, he just couldn't move the way he wanted to. But they still won going away. So, I don't know. Randall being out could be the death nail here for the Knicks. They need Randall to come back. For their offense, for their defense. I mean, RJ Barrett's playing his butt off right now. But how long can he keep this up?
Right.
I mean, Brunson's awesome. I mean, how do you not love him? He's phenomenal. But what?
No, I'm just looking at the prices now. Have you seen the prices to win the NBA championship? I mean, it's pretty funny. It's really funny.
What are
it's it's Boston, and then it's everybody else, and then the everybody else at the bottom is comical. Like, you know, we like to have fun and talk about teams and their fan bases in other cities. The Heat are 20-1 and the Knicks are 24-1. Everyone else is 11-1 or better. It's basically saying you guys shouldn't even waste any time talking about this series because neither one of these damn teams has a shot of beating the other one. Like, it's that easy.
I mean,
I know.
Maybe.
Don't say it because people will come and clip it and put it out all over.
Okay, let me see.
But
try this on for a second. Denver Nuggets.
Let me get the glasses. Hold on, wait. Go ahead, sir. Go.
Denver Nuggets against the New York Knicks.
Denver Nuggets against the New York Knicks. Okay, that sounds all right.
Minus 500. Okay. Next, Golden State Warriors against New York Knicks.
Golden State's favored.
Favored by 7. It's minus 700.
They're favored.
The Phoenix Suns against the New York Knicks.
Still favored. Western Conference.
Okay.
Yep.
How about the Suns against the Heat?
Suns against the Heat. Yep. I'm going to say the Suns are favored.
So, I mean,
that's a lot of sun and heat and a lot of star signs.
okay, but
and
just
all this
go
other,
through the
like
list.
sun
Any
signs
Western
and shit.
Conference
But okay,
team,
yeah.
that's why the number is where the number is. It's not to win the East now. If they were 20-1 to win the East, I would say that's disrespectful. But 20-1 to win the championship, I agree with.
Right.
They're not winning the championship versus a team in the Western
Oh
Conference.
God, now he's doing it again.
What? I'm not even worried about that.
The Heat aren't winning the championship.
The Miami Heat are not winning the championship.
Clip it.
I will wear
No,
whatever
stop.
you want me to
won't
wear.
Tell them
Oh,
what you wear and all this other stuff.
I'll wear all Heat. I'll come in fully decked out. Every
I have
bit of
all
Heat.
the Heat gear.
Okay, I wear
have it
every
all.
little Heat. I'll wear it for an entire week. Miami Heat win the championship. I'll have an entire week. Okay.
Done it again.
You know they got to win 11 more games. 11.
Yes.
Okay. So like this is not like
you know who they would play in the next round, right?
Yeah, but they could beat the Celtics and still lose the championship.
Oh God.
You got to win the title. I'm perfectly comfortable with who's coming out of the Western Conference that will beat the Miami Heat. Yes, I'm comfortable with saying that.
Okay.
I'm not sure Boston would beats the team that comes out of the West.
I'm not sure either, sir.
If the Denver Nuggets shoot the way they shot in game 1, no one's beating them.
Yeah, but
No one is. They're winning the whole thing.
the Suns are winning tonight.
I do. I think someone's tonight. Because I don't think they're going to shoot how they shot. I said if the Nuggets shoot like they did in game 1, I don't believe they can shoot the same way they did in game 1. Aaron Gordon went 5 for 5 to start the game. He had 16 points in the first quarter and a half.
Incredible.
Not happening tonight.
Oh my God. From Paradocus's chat in here to my lips to say, if we have to watch a Lakers Heat bubble rematch
Yuck.
in the NBA Finals,
I
will watch it.
I'll watch it, but yuck.
You'll watch that?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
That'll be trash.
Well, what am I going to watch on a Tuesday night? Like the Twins and the Royals? Like,
no.
I mean,
you should be watching the Pirates. You might be watching them this
more
week.
on that in a second.
Yes.
So Boston was as high as 10.5 point favorites tonight.
Yes,
now
they
it's down
were.
it's down to 9. What is it now?
Right. Excuse me, sir. Let me click refresh here. Oh, back up to 9.5 in most places.
Wow.
Good two-way. This is what you dream about as a book guy.
I just
Give me
disagree
some
with
two-way between 10 and 9. That's great.
I just can't. I mean, I bought 10.5 last. I bought it 10.5 last night. I'm tempted to buy the 9. I'm just trying to do an ARB, see if it falls 10. But Boston in the fourth quarter you can't trust that team in the fourth quarter. What?
Nah, you can't.
No, you cannot trust them to cover a double-digit line. They'll pull up.
Do you want the Sixers plus 10 without Embiid? Hello?
Yes, I do.
That's your side?
Yeah, I do. I think it's the better bet. Boston, Sean Grandy had a great tweet this morning, even before I ended up betting it last night. Boston has gone. Sean Grandy is the play-by-play voice of the Boston Celtics, who has been on this show before.
We had him on the show. Sean was
Yes.
great. We should try to find a way to get Sean back on the show. That was great.
No, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe during the finals we can get him back on.
Oh, you already
Boston
put him in the finals?
I'm kidding. I was waiting for your reaction. I was making a joke.
I was waiting to see if you messed up.
No, I did it on purpose.
Oh, I don't want to have to book. Let's book them next week so we can still be playing.
The Boston Celtics
if they
have
lose
lost.
to the Sixers, it's all over for you, right?
I'm just not worried about that unless Embiid plays. So if Embiid plays, I'll be worried. But without Embiid,
I'm going to come on here dressed like Julius Erving one day.
You do that anyway. So what's the difference? Like what the hell's the
Wilt
difference?
Chamberlain, Bobby Jones.
No difference. Bobby Jones. What?
Bobby Jones, Mo Cheeks.
Oh, not the golfer. Bobby Jones. It's like, wait, what? But the golfer? Wait.
No.
So Boston has, I think they've gone. I think he pulled it. Like they went like 1-11 this year or something like that when a star player was out in the regular season.
Yeah.
Like Boston doesn't do well like this. They do much better when you have your full complement because they pay attention. They're locked in. When they're 10-point favorites, they might go, and that's why I'm taking Philly. I don't trust Boston.
Right.
I think 10.5. Give me the points. I don't trust the Celtics to close teams out the way you're supposed to.
We've got a tremendous group of people in here today. This is one of our biggest live audiences for a long time. Thank you guys for being here. I just looked at TP. Are you with me? ? He took the Celtics to win game 1 and the series at only
Like it.
minus 175.
I like it. I bet that with the Bruins.
How
also.
in the hell is that only minus 175?
How is the Bruins only minus 120? They both
lost.
bets could lose. Right. Both bets can lose.
I mean, the Celtics aren't losing the game tonight, sir, are they? Come on.
I don't think so, but I just told you why. I just told you that
Come
there's a little bit of a concern that Boston hasn't played well.
I am going to be running around the house singing the Sixers song if the Sixers win the game tonight.
Mhm.
Little Consig will be so excited. In full disclosure, she was like, as the Panthers scored, she was like, you should call Perrault. It's so funny. The whole family calls you Perrault.
It's fine. It's easy. Too many Matts in the world.
Way too many. But she's like, do you think he's worried? I'm like, I'm not allowed to call him. And then I broke the rule and called you, and you told me, what the fuck are you calling me for? And hung up the phone on me.
Yes.
So I realized
Boston has gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0-10 this season. Cleveland missing Darius Garland, Golden State missing Andrew Wiggins, Denver missing Jamal Murray, OKC missing SGA, Miami missing Jimmy Butler, Phoenix missing Devin Booker, New York missing Jalen Brunson, Utah missing Jordan Clarkson, Washington missing Bradley Beal and Kyle Kuzma, and in Game 5, Murray was out for the Hawks. 0-10. Boston this year, straight up, when they play a team that does not have their star player or one of their star players.
Man, oh man.
Just
they lost the game outright?
Philly plus 10.5.
Oh boy, this is bad.
Philly plus 10.5.
Oh boy.
So that's the angle. Embiid, look at, if he doesn't play, the series will, look at, even if he does play, Al Horford takes him out anyway, but it's just the option. It's the rebounding. It's the weapon he is. If he doesn't play, do you think Philly has any shot?
No,
right?
I don't. Somebody go through and find the games when he didn't play and see how the Sixers did. Right? What's the Sixers record without Embiid in the lineup? Both ATS and SU straight up. It ain't good.
Yeah. Ooh, Boston first quarter spread minus 3.5. Interesting. Probably. I don't mind Boston in the first half. That's true. I am probably going to bet the team total, but I'm just a little concerned about Philly's defense and it's Doc Rivers. So it's like, I don't know if Boston, like against Atlanta, I felt really confident Boston was going to go over 661 points in the first half, like every game at home. I was like, okay, I feel confident betting that. But tonight, 61, I haven't actually even looked at the total for the game tonight.
Perrault asked me in the chat, I don't know if you saw it, but he said, do you know that Harden was in Vegas 36 hours ago?
I did not, but it does not surprise me at all. Doesn't matter.
Problem with that?
None. Zero.
Like, they haven't played in how long?
A while, but I don't have a problem that he was here. I don't have a problem that he's flying private.
What is the big deal if they come here and blow it out for a day or two?
Doesn't bug me at all
because
he's not focused.
He's not
focused. He's supposed to be focused. Go sit in your room and just stare at tape the whole time. Stupid.
It's a new voice you just added to the repertoire.
58.5 total for the Celtics tonight. First half team total.
A little lower than usual.
Because of Philly's defense. Juiced heavily, not heavily, but juiced pretty good to the under. Minus 122 to the under.
Yeah, Philly's defense is different than Philly's defense without Embiid.
Fine, but you're going to have to lock down. I don't think you want to get into a high-scoring game with Boston, so I think you're going to play slower without
Total's
Embiid.
214.5.
Under.
Agreed.
I think it's going under.
Stucky. Hi, sir. Stucky came in, said
What's
hello.
up, man?
He said he's watching. He said,
Nice.
how are things going for you today? I said, I've telling people all the time, he's fine. He's okay. I was taking texts and calls last night. Check on your boy. How is he? I'm like,
God.
he's fine. He actually answered the phone this time, and I was allowed to talk to him, later.
After the game, sure.
After the game. During the game, never again. Boom, done.
Yes, you learned you learned the lesson. Super Bowls, playoffs, Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox playoff games. Yes, I yell at anyone who calls me. My mother was texting me saying, "How do you feel?" I was like, "You serious? Don't talk to me." My mother comes here. My mom comes here Wednesday, actually. My mom is coming to town for 4 days.
Oh, that's right.
She's rolling into town. Do you agree, though, that Boston should be minus 560 to win the series?
Well, don't they win the first 2 games at home? You're just
Without
getting ahead
Embiid.
of the price.
That's
all.
why?
What can it be? What the hell should it be?
560. I mean, what are we doing?
We're telling you to bet the Celtics, and we're telling you to bet the Sixers at minus 560. Please come in and do it. Please.
Because there's no shot.
We need to get the money on the Sixers before they play any games. Because if Embiid don't play, ain't nobody betting on the Sixers after they play.
Fair.
So we got to push it up and say, come on in.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see. What like tonight. I'll be curious to see the atmosphere tonight, because 24 hours earlier, that building was a morgue. So now you're right back into TD Garden with the playoff series against the Sixers. I'll be curious to see what the fan base is, what they feel, because the Celtic players were at the game.
You that half the building that's in that building tonight.
Yep.
Hasn't watched a single Bruins game all season.
You're completely wrong. It's so wrong. It's not even close to being accurate. That's not even close to being accurate. It's so far out. It's the city. Boston's the best sports city in America for a reason.
Oh, for God's sakes, what are you doing?
What am I doing? They have the number. Hold on, wait. Listen to me. More people per capita listen to sports talk radio and watch sports television.
They got nothing else to do up there. The sun don't even shine 6 months a year. Please.
Okay, by the way, there is no country without my city. So
what do they go to the Boston Pops? Like, what do they do?
Pops are fun. That's Western Mass, though. That's not Boston. But Boston Pops are kind of fun. Go to Tanglewood. That's some real yuppie stuff to go do that. That's wine and cheese to the up 10th degree to do that. But there's plenty of things to do in New England and in Boston. You went to my city and you had a glorious time.
Drive up to see the leaves change up there.
No one goes. Well, that's so boring. It's New Hampshire and Maine. That's blah. Not even. That's a one-time deal. You do that once and you're like, okay, I'm done with that. That's good. I'm good.
They listen to sports talk and they yell at each other over the sports talk. That's what they do there. That's, of course, they listen to most people per capita.
Is that the clown Trace Murray that was asking me to come on? Where's your podcast, dude? Come on. Where's your podcast? Where is it, dude?
At the chat, Matthew.
Yeah. Come on. It's on the screen. How can I not?
Stop putting the chat
Murray,
up on the screen.
Pick up a history book.
Look at what you're doing.
Pick up a history book, my friend, and you would likely know. Without Boston, there is no USA. That's actually true.
Oh, God.
Sorry. I know it might be difficult. Okay. Buy a microphone, start a podcast. I will be on your podcast.
Oh my God. What are we doing? Stay focused.
Don't put it on the screen. I said it before. Don't put it on the screen. Put it on the screen. Clowns will be called out. I'll be on soon. Oh, I can't wait. In the meantime, hit the like button. Help our numbers out. I appreciate you being here.
Listen, they brought people with them today. They've been in the chat the whole time. Our listener numbers are going up. Our watch numbers are going up. Our time spent on the show is going up. I love this shit. That's
great. Hey,
appreciate you all.
It's all gold for us. So yes, we win. Denver tonight up against Phoenix, game 1. This is going to be one of those games. I think everyone assumes that game 1 and game 2 are going to be carbon copies. And I think they're going to be total opposites.
Yeah. Zigzag theory. All these people.
Not even the zigzag theory as much as I think the Suns make major adjustments coming up here. They can't play defense the way they played in game 1.
Oh,
I mean, they essentially dared the Nuggets to hit outside shots. They said, okay, we're not going to let Noak in the hit everything. I don't think you can do that. I wouldn't let Murray and I wouldn't let Gordon just stand out there without anybody around jacking shots, because they made them pay in game 1.
I got to be honest. I ended up. Oh no!
Hold on.
Now this. Listen to our dear sponsors who are helping us out.
We're back.
This does
Hold on.
never really happen.
We're back.
Okay.
It's a fun day.
Keep us together, please.
We're good. But I think this is
look good.
No, we're good.
I was in a wannabe sports bar called the Green Pig Pub, trying to watch the Nuggets and the Suns.
Yeah.
So, in fairness, I really only saw the highlights and watched, like, read the box scores and post game stuff. I had the game on, but it was on the TV far off. Everything went right for the Nuggets. Everything went wrong for the Suns. Fair?
Yes, fair. Except for KD scoring 15 in the first quarter, but yeah.
It doesn't usually go that way again.
Mm-hmm.
The number is coming down. It's 4, now painted 4. The play on the Suns makes sense. The play on the total is now, it totals 229. Painted that number 2. I think the game goes over. First thought, but
yeah, game 1 went over. So game 2, I could see game 2, but I think game 2 goes over because the Suns score more. I like the Suns to win the game.
Oh, this is too good. The chat's going back and forth with these people. Oh, yeah. I love all of you. Just keep watching the show, please. Good luck, Denver. Does it feel like Denver has to have this one to win the series?
No.
If Phoenix wins this game, let alone wins it a little bit convincingly, and now they have home court, this price flips drastically back to the Suns being the favorite with a heavy lean on the Suns closing it out. Telling you.
Closing it out, what, in 6 or 5?
It'll switch to them having a 2-1 lead, that price, right away. It'll flip it. It'll be heavy on if Phoenix wins, like we used to do this. Is Denver going to go to win a game 3? Not many people are going to think they will. So you have to get ahead of that price move, and it'll flip. And you'll be like, when we talk about it tomorrow, we'll be like, oh, did you see the series price? Yep. It's the Suns number now. Yep.
I think the Suns win tonight. Okay, so we're making jokes over this over the weekend, but the first game in Mexico City, they opened it up at 9. We saw 27 run. We saw 27.
The 9 was wrong. Let's be fair. They looked at the schedule and went, oh, they're playing in San Diego. Yeah. San Francisco, San Diego matchup, pitching matchup. 8.5, 9, use 9. Good. Put it up. Oh, shit. The game's in Mexico City. Over. Blip, 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 blip. Waterfall. We got to go to 15.5.
Well, that was game 1.
Yeah, that was game 1. That's how that went.
Got to 15.5. They scored 27 runs. So in
16
game 2
to 11, San Diego won.
So then they go for game 2. They go, well, game 1 didn't work. What are you putting the price at? 21.5.
Darvish and Alex Cobb, 2 pretty good pitchers.
They started at 19.5. Some went to 18.5. Got as high as 21.5 before it finally got bought back down to 19.5, where it closed 19.5, and they scored 10 runs. So 9 wasn't a bad number for game 1.
Right.
I mean, they weren't that wrong. I bring it up because we were laughing at the sports books because they were in shambles, but like they got their revenge.
Yeah. That's why they play the games. That's why betting on the games, the books would rather you much bet on the games than on the draft, which I, did not pay one bit of attention to all weekend.
Did you know you can bet on the 2024 draft now?
What?
You can bet on the 2024 draft right now.
Put the listing glasses back on. Why the would you bet on an NFL draft next year?
Maybe you think you know who's going to be number 1. Caleb Williams, number 1 pick. You can bet it right now.
Unanimous, isn't it? He, of course, is going to be the number 1 pick.
What if he snaps his leg like Joe Namath?
Oh, Why would you even say that out loud?
I'm just saying he's automatically number one. I don't know if he gets hurt. Maybe he's not. He's going to play another year at USC.
After this year?
No, Caleb Williams going into next year's draft will be the number one pick. He's going to play he's playing a college football season this coming year.
Until they lose a game or two, right? And he's not playing.
Probably not.
Because he is the number one pick.
Right. But you can bet it right now if you want to.
But like, he's not the number one pick if a team that has a quarterback is the number one team to draft. Like,
offensive lineman, left tackle,
I mean,
generational.
Right? Like Houston, if they stink again, they got
they
CJ Stroud, right?
Yep.
They're not taking Caleb next year.
They might. If that happens, Texans fans are going to be so pissed because I know Texans
They are
fans
not taking him next year.
I know there's Texans fans who are furious that they drafted CJ Stroud and not tanking for Caleb Williams. They wanted to build the defense up and then tank.
Did we just morph into a draft talk section?
No,
Like,
just
it
saying
wasn't
you talked about it. You brought it up.
I did.
You brought it up, not me. Do you ever think Major League Baseball would put a team in Mexico City? Because the games there are for a reason.
I can't say no because I didn't think a team when I moved here would ever come to Vegas, and it looks like we're getting a team. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
If they put a team there, there has to be we got to make it not like Yellowstone Park, but we got to make sure the lines and the gaps are deep, right? Because we can't have we can't have little pop flies just flying out like they were on Saturday. We can't have it. That's not baseball. That's beer league softball, and nobody wants to see that.
No, I don't know if they ever will, but I think that they'll toy with the idea of it. They want, they have Toronto. I would put a team in Montreal before I put a team in Mexico City personally, but
they don't want a team in Montreal. They would have already had it.
MLB doesn't want it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a mistake, but I don't know. That's weird. I think Montreal is a perfect market for baseball up there, but you want a second team in Canada.
I don't know if they do.
They don't.
Right?
They want Mexico. I think they want one team in Mexico. I think they want a Mexico team instead. They want to go south, not north.
Well, you want to talk about a home field advantage. Just to travel alone.
Right.
Getting to and from.
Yeah.
That messes up everything. Like, that trip is hard. Then you get there and you can't breathe. And then your pitcher throws a breaking ball and it don't break. And you're like, guy hits a pop-up and it looks like it's going to be a can of corn in right field. It goes over the fence because it just keeps carrying. That'll be a unique home field advantage, more so than even Colorado.
If they
Coors,
Coors on steroids, they called it.
So
this was a little bit of an interesting, it might be a little inside school, but I think it's worth bringing up nationally because I read this and I was like, okay, it is now official. The Oakland A's, if they do not get public financing for their ballpark, ain't coming.
Told you that.
Their deal, they turned down a $1 offer for a plot of land to come here. They said no.
Yeah.
Because they would rather get into the $100 million letter of intent they signed. Because with that letter of intent comes a very big asterisk, a very big caveat.
Asterisk.
Asterisk.
You said asterisk.
Asterisk. Yes, an asterisk. One, not asterisks. Asterisk. Asterisk.
Hit it. What is the asterisk?
That they have to get $500 million in public funding or they're not coming.
Say it again for the people that may have missed it.
They have 1 month, the month of May, until the people up in Carson City adjourn for the summer to get a financing bill passed that will give the Oakland A's, or the A's to become the Las Vegas A's, $500 million in public financing. And if they don't get it, that letter that they just wrote, that intended buy of $100 million, is gone. They are out of the deal. They do not have to honor it. The Rio offered them $1 for the land that the Rio sits on. Which that would have been insane for the Palms, by the way, to have the ballpark be built there. And they said no, because there's no public money that would come with that. This is, I'm beginning to feel a little more like you. I thought this was done. Now I'm kind of on the fence.
Somebody's using some leverage or trying to get some other stuff done to get that money.
In Oakland.
I can tell you this, people. We've been trying to get a sponsor and talking to people for a month. Trying to get people to give you money, even for good shit, it ain't easy.
No.
You're going to ask people to give you money in the $500 million range that live here, that don't like to pay a $5 resort fee or parking fee or other stuff. We're going to give a billionaire money to build a ballpark?
Because I would say they would if it wasn't for the Raiders getting $750 million 10 years ago or 8 years ago, whatever it was.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is that if we didn't just do this and the blowback was so significant, it wasn't the only thing that cost Steve Sisolak his governorship, but it was one of the big things that turned the tide against him. COVID didn't help. But that deal that he got done to give the money to the Raiders, people were really mad. Namely, a lot of Democrats were mad that they took that much money and didn't put it into a school program, or into roads or into rehab or whatever it might be. They gave it to a football team.
Sign us off the grid. We'll continue the conversation.
Sports Grid, thank you so much. We apologize for the technical difficulties. I think we're fixed, though, and we're good for tomorrow. We're back tomorrow. Good. YouTube and Twitter don't move. BVB bonus time starts now.
Bam, I love that.
Do you think, handicap it, right? A's in 2027 are playing in Las Vegas. What's the number?
Oh, I think it's a dog right now. After seeing this, I mean, I've been pick them at best all along, because the game behind the game. They're trying to get the money. There ain't no team without no money. Now there's no deal without, forget about the team. They got this. I mean, the fact that they took the no, or they gave the no for the dollar offer thing it goes to show you they're after the money.
Yes.
They're using the team as the leverage to get the money.
Yes, I agree with you.
If I can see
that story from Front Office Sports is, that's the Rio saying, "Hey, have the land, build the ballpark, go ahead and you guys pay the costs, knock down the Rio, all the build your ballpark right in a great spot." And they go, no, we don't want to. No, we're good. Well, why? Because if I take the other deal, I get $500 million in public funding. Oh, so no, it's $100 million out, $500 million in. So I'm grossing $400 million and I'm getting the land. So I don't need your $1 deal. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And it's with a certain group.
Right.
That deals with a certain group.
Red Rock, right.
Not with anybody.
Right. Yep.
Which would then result in different things being done, how to build the ballpark, who gets to build the ballpark, who gets to drive the trucks in to help bring the stuff to build the ballpark, and all other stuff that you see in movies legitimately is happening right here, disguised as the Las Vegas A's or the Nevada A's. Which one would you call it? Obviously, we would use Vegas in the name, right? It would be the Las Vegas something, right? Wouldn't be Nevada anything.
No. God, no.
Please.
That would be weird. That'd be really weird. Yeah, no. I don't like that. Madeline asked me that a couple of days ago. She said, when did they go to the New England Patriots? Why aren't they the Boston Patriots? I'm like, they don't play in Boston. They play in Foxborough. She was like, oh. But everything else is the Boston.
They've always been that.
No, they were the Boston Patriots when they played at Fenway.
That's how they came into the league?
When they played it, when they were in the AFL,
They were the Boston Patriots.
Patriots.
I've always known them as the New England Patriots. I thought my whole life.
When they moved out of Boston and went to Foxborough, when they became the New England Patriots, because
and there's no other team up there.
No, but like they wanted the regionalization of it, so it's separation. But it is weird. Like, people from Boston have always found it to be strange that some guy in the upper tip of Maine, is 6 hours away, is still in the region that the Patriots represent. So it is odd. I'm not a fan of it. The Golden State Warriors, not a fan of it.
Well, see, I like that one.
Yeah, don't like it. I'd rather you're either the San Francisco Warriors.
When I was a kid, I didn't know where Golden State played.
Right. Oh, right. Just you knew it in California.
I just knew it was in the state of California.
Yeah, where in California? Right.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Did you like the California Angels as a kid?
No.
You were the California Angels?
No.
I like that better than the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
I hate that. That's weird.
That's silly.
Too wordy. Yep.
What is that?
Just the Angels. Just the LA Angels. But yeah, I mean, I've never been a big. I like this. Whatever city you're playing in, that's where I think you should be representing.
Arizona Diamondbacks. Not a fan.
Nope. Prefer to be Phoenix Diamondbacks. I like it. Sounds nice. Arizona Diamondbacks sounds nice because we're used to it. But I think they play in Phoenix.
How about the Florida Panthers? You like that one?
Nope. They're Miami Panthers.
It should be the Miami Panthers. That sounds terrible.
Okay. But Florida Panthers only sounds good because we know it. We've heard it before. I would rather be the Boston Patriots. I'd rather be the Oakland Warriors or the San Francisco Warriors.
Can you imagine being the Massachusetts Patriots?
Yuck. Although it makes more sense.
Terrible.
Makes more sense though.
What if you were the Connecticut Patriots?
No, it almost became that. They came close to moving to Connecticut. That was bad. That's how Gillette got built.
They were going to play where? Hartford?
Yeah. That's how Gillette got built. Kraft had a land deal done to move the team to Connecticut if they didn't get Gillette Stadium financed in public money.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It was a big fight for years because that old Foxborough Stadium was so decrepit and nasty. So he was moving. That's why some people don't like Robert Kraft, because he really was thinking about taking the team to Connecticut.
It's all leverage deals and stuff. He was never leaving that place.
No, but it makes sense though, because when you're the New England Patriots, you could play in Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont. You don't have to play in Massachusetts. So he took that full advantage of it.
Do you think that's why they do that with Minnesota? All the teams in Minnesota are named Minnesota. All the teams.
That's weird. That really is odd.
Minnesota Vikings, Minnesota Twins.
Why is
Minnesota
that? That's
Wild.
a great question. Why do they do that? Why is nobody the Minneapolis whatever?
I don't know.
I mean, the Twins technically, because it's the Twin Cities. So you do encompass Minneapolis, St. Paul by calling them the Twins. So I guess I'm okay with that. The Minnesota Twins, because the Twins are in reference to the two cities.
Some state names are just cooler than any city name in the state, though. Like, and they're too long sometimes, or they're too hard to say or spell. Like, what would you call them? The Minneapolis Twins?
Yeah. Minneapolis Twins. Sure. Yeah, I like that. That sounds fine.
That does not. That's
Minneapolis Twins or Minnesota Twins? There's that big of a difference to you?
Minneapolis, Minnesota. No, I guess it's the same number of syllables.
So, I mean, I'm fine with calling it that. I don't know. This is a personal preference thing. It's not the end of the world, but it's a personal preference thing. Well, just one quick baseball question before better to book it. Are you more surprised that the Yankees are 15-14 and your Pirates have 20 wins?
Listen, man, we got 20 wins. I'm surprised as hell by that, but I'm loving it.
Yes. But you're not surprised with the Yankees being 15-14? I'm more surprised with the
Yankees. They start slow every year.
They do?
It's annoying. Yes. They have these break-even Aprils, sometimes a game or two under 500 in April, and then boom. We'll get to Memorial Day and they'll have a 5-game lead, or we'll get to the June
I don't know about that.
Flag Day.
These Rays are something else.
That ain't happening this year. The Rays ain't going nowhere.
Rays aren't going anywhere.
Whoa.
I don't know if That team is legit.
But take a quick look at the standings. You see something in the American League East? If you look at all the teams in the American League East,
They're all over 500.
how annoying is that shit?
I actually heard a podcast in Boston yesterday with a guy who was trying to make the case that the Red Sox are making the wild card team, or are going to be the third wild card team. And I just shook my head. I was like, what are we doing? Like, you want this so desperately because you want them to make the playoffs. If the Red Sox are in the playoffs, I'll fall over. Like, there's literally that team. I mean, I will say this: Chris Sale against teams not named the Baltimore Orioles has actually been pretty good.
Chris Sale has been good.
Not against the Orioles. He's had 2 starts against the Orioles. He's been lit up like a Christmas tree both times.
Right.
But he's 2-1 against teams not named the Baltimore Orioles. Here's a crazy stat. Chris Sale yesterday got an out in the 7th inning for the first time since 2019.
Wait, say that again slow. Say that again.
Chris Sale recorded an out as a pitcher in a game that he started for the first time since 2019.
What are you talking about? I don't understand the stat.
For the first time since 2019, Chris Sale was on the mound in the 7th inning and got somebody out.
Oh, recorded an out in the 7th inning. You left that part out when you repeated it.
So sorry.
Yeah, you said he recorded an out of the game he started. I'm like, what?
Sorry. In the 7th inning. Sorry. In the 7th inning.
Wow.
For a guy making that much money.
I know. We have to listen. We have to stop worrying about the money. The money is getting out of control. Daniel Jones and like New York Giants quarterback is making $45 million a year. Like, the money doesn't mean anything anymore in pro sports. Like,
fair, but it does matter in terms of, does it hamstring the team or not?
They don't even care about that. They'll pay the tax sometimes. They'll pay the starting pitcher these absurd numbers. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. It's justified, or is it hamstringing the team? Because if the team starts to win, they'll figure out a way to not hamstring.
True. That's 100% true.
So if he's pitching good, he's pitching good. And he's pitching as good as he has. Wow, that's crazy. He hasn't gotten an out in 4 years. I mean, that's a long time.
In the 7th inning.
That's
well, you remember, he had Tommy John, so he was out for 2 years. But yeah, not good.
If he starts pitching better, that lineup can hit Perrault. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. For God's sakes, the whole division is over 500. It's annoying as hell.
I mean, the Red Sox and the Yankees have the same record.
If you'd have said that 2 weeks ago, they would have called you a homer and made another video about you.
Right?
Yeah. So
but they have the same record, so it's quite remarkable. All right, better to book a time.
Let's do it.
Only one bet on the hockey game tonight for me. I'm going to ride the streak here. Jersey Rangers under 1.5 goals, first period, minus 130.
Like this first period under.
It's been hitting. It's been very profitable.
I like the game under.
Mm-hmm.
So if I like the game under, I'll say bet it on the first period under. But this could be tied 1-1.
100%.
You get a power play, boom, or like you like to say, boom.
I need
boom.
I need the gift not to hit. The most important thing for this wager is the
hit. Put that shit on a t-shirt, sir. Yeah. I need the gift not to hit.
If the gift hits, I'm in trouble. Like if we get a goal in the first 5 minutes, it's oh no. So as long as we go 10 minutes with no goal, then score 1 goal, it's 1-0, we're good. I'll be fine. But if it's an early goal in the first 10 minutes, it's going to be a whale of a sweat, because that's what happened in the last game. The Rangers scored in the 19th minute to have this go over. So hopefully we don't have the same situation where we get a bad break and we get a bad beat.
Will this have all of your attention tonight? Or are you going to be watching the Celtics?
Come on. What do you think I'm watching? I'm double screening.
Well, I asked you the question.
I'm double screening it, but on to the next game. Philly plus 10.5 against the Celtics tonight.
That's why I asked you. I'm booking this one.
Here's what I want. I want Philly to get off to a really fast start. I want this number to come down. I want to get in, I want an in-game 3.5 Boston. And have a nice little middle.
Very possible.
and ride. And that's
At some
basically
point
this-
you'll be able to do this. You might have to wait till the fourth quarter when the Boston Celtics are up big, and then watch the Sixers come back and make it interesting. That's been the MO.
Well, if that
likely than
happens,
not.
I won't try to middle it. I'll just take the one bet. I'll just go, okay, that's good. If that happens, I'll be good. Like if I get 2, 3, 4, somewhere in that range, if I get close to a 1 possession game for Boston, I'll bet and try to middle it. Take
Right.
10.5 and over 3.
Excuse me.
Like 3.5
Oh,
on this.
thank
Does this number close at 10?
no, it's already 9.
No, it was 9.5. You said
Hold on, let's go.
it was
back.
10.5 last night. It's down to 9 this morning, and now it's back to. And you said it was 9.5.
They're
was
watching
going-
the show right now.
It was going up an hour
They're
ago.
watching the show right now. They all laid 9.5. It's all 9.5.
Okay.
There's not a 9 gone. They're all gone
So
officially.
does it close at 10?
Well, it goes back to 10 and they take it again, right? I mean, they may have to push it to 10.5, but this is a dream for the book, Perrault. If we could take two-way NBA action on a game and the numbers are 9 and 10, hello, let's just write tickets. I mean, I'd be sitting there like this. Look, everybody's at 9.5. Let's go back to 10. Take some more 10. 10. All right, let's go back to 9. Take some more 9. Boom, 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 boom. This is great. This is when it's fun, when you can take bets. Yeah, some books are likely to close 10 because they ain't getting the bets. They're just moving on air, which, that'll be one of my favorite things about today coming up is how some books like to just copy what other books do. I'm going to mention that personally, how I've been copied by a book. I'm
That's
pretty excited
right.
about it. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
Okay.
I can't wait. I can't
Finally,
wait.
Suns money line plus
Yes.
165. Better to book it.
Suns money line. Suns money line.
Deep sigh.
I am nervous about this for you.
Of course.
You really think they're going to win this game in Denver, huh?
Because there's only 2 bets to make. Either you lay the points or take the dog outright.
Yeah. And I get the best of it. I got the latest price, but I mean, you're taking plus 165 and you have to win.
Mhm.
All I got to do is win the game too, and I'm at home. I think I'll book this one. Denver goes up 2-0, but loses both games in Phoenix in 3 and 4 most likely.
Yeah, I think it's a 7-game series. I like the Suns to win.
Oh, it's going to be a battle.
Mm.
Yes.
Favorite thing about today is what?
Oh no.
Well,
I just got a text from our dear friend Stucky that says during an argument, Sixers star James Harden appears to slap a man outside of a Las Vegas casino earlier this week.
yes.
Oh, didn't see that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna see that.
I'll have to watch that video.
Not good. It's not good. But I think it's nothing.
Huh. Okay. Listen, no, not even gonna say it. 2 things. One, I went up to Utah for the weekend and got to watch my oldest play softball in one of her last away series as a member of the College of Southern Nevada softball team. They got spanked. College of Southern Nevada lost all 4 games by run rule. I was one of 3 people there rooting for CSN, grandma and grandma's sister from another kid on the team, and myself. But I made friends, and I got a bunch of people watching and listening to the show, hopefully today,
Oops. Sorry.
that were there because I gave them, they took screenshots of the show on the Twitter and my
Nice.
Twitter and a lot of things. And I said, I would mention Trisha,
Oh, hi,
who
Trisha.
grew up in Wisconsin. Her dad was a longtime gambler. His name is Hans. It's ironic that you spoke to someone named Hans. I had
True.
known no one in my life named Hans other than characters on movies and TV. And in the span of 24 hours, the name Hans came into play twice in conversations with me and you in different states and different time zones. And I thought, maybe Hans, maybe it's supposed to be, but Hans is 87.
Whoa.
He's Trisha's dad.
Nice.
And we told him to watch the show today because he likes sports. He likes gambling. He loves to come to Vegas. He got to come here in January to see his great his granddaughter play for the
Nice.
Salt Lake City Community College that was playing my girls. They were here. It might have been his last trip ever to Vegas. But I said, have him dial in, watch the show. We got old guys, we got young guys, we got girls, we got all these people in the chat watching the show. He might like the show, and he still likes to partake in some straight bets. And he said parlays are for suckers. That's what he said. A lot of people will say that. That's fine, but I wanted to make sure I welcomed both Trisha and Hans to the group. Hopefully, again, they're watching. The second thing, favorite thing about today is I tweeted it this morning at SportsBeat Cake and Sig. I tweeted something yesterday. The hot mic caught the ref and the Bruins going back and forth a little bit. He said, don't challenge me and all this other stuff. I loved it. I love the hot mics on the ice. I love the banter back and forth, and the trash talking is exceptional, what goes on the ice and on the benches. So I tweeted it, and I said things are getting a little spicy on the ice. My words. I saw the tweet from Tony X, and when you take a tweet from someone and don't quote tweet them, you still give them credit by them being the source of that video. An hour and a half later, it appeared on the PointsBet Sportsbook Twitter site.
Nearly word for word.
They changed one word and made it, things are getting spicy. There's an open mic, and things are getting spicy on the rink, I believe is what it said. Go to my Twitter at SportsBeatCake and Sig and see it. But I just want to say, imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
True.
Just fucking say thank you once in a while. That's all I'm asking. But that's okay. Jeffrey Benson tweeted at it. He had a tremendous on top of it all tweet, because all I did was tweet, good morning, good timing, good content. Something like that, on the Twitter. But right. Jeffrey Benson said, PointsBet copies lines as well as they do social media. You want to talk about throwing flames? I'm retweeting that right after the show. Thanks, guys, for being here. Thank you for joining us. That is my favorite thing about
Hey, how can you not love him? He's phenomenal. All right, couple things. Yes. First, it is really unique and neat for me to read. The book that I'm reading is like, or listening to on these walks every morning when I'm going on these walks, Rob Mish's book, Sports Betting for Winners.
Yes.
It's everyone we know, but it's so interesting. I'm on this chapter of everybody from Pittsburgh, and they go through this entire list of like everyone from Pittsburgh who's in Vegas, in the sports betting world, who's from Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
It is nuts. I mean, like, I always knew it was nuts, but there's so many names. Like, who's Pittsburgh Jack? You ever hear that? I've never heard of him before.
Yeah.
There's people that I'd never heard of, but the guys, I'd never heard of before that were in the sports betting world way before I ever was in the sports betting world, who are all from Pittsburgh. And like Chris Andrews, his family, like people that are connected and like going through the whole thing. It's, I think if you are somebody who you like sports betting, but if you like this show, I think you'll find it pretty cool, because a lot of the people that we've had on this show are in that book, that are mentioned in that book, quoted in that book.
They are.
And, talking about lines, and there's a big thing with Jay Kornegay, there's a big part talking about line copying, which, really interesting. You bring up line copying because it's a big thing about offshore and onshore, what Vegas books have done, the automation. Now, this book was written 5 years ago in 2018. So it's fun to kind of see where we are now versus when the book was written, and how the changes were, the automation, and the even then in 2018, they were talking about the dangers of the European model coming in and what that was going to do, what the automation was going to look like, what the live betting. I mean, this is back in 2018. I forgot in 2018 that they only would let you bet live during commercial breaks. You could not bet live. Like, if you wanted to bet live, you couldn't bet live in Vegas. Had to be in a commercial break or after a first quarter or half.
We didn't have the technology to do it any other way.
Yeah.
But we were doing it. Yeah, we were doing it. It was a major challenge. was a major challenge, but we figured it out, and we were taking bets on it.
Right.
And
So it's really fun. It's a nice way to start my day when I'm walking and listening to this book and just hearing all these things and going like, this is a pretty neat thing that we are a part of in 2018 to see where we are now. The other thing is, did you know this just kills you because 312,000 fans attended the draft in Kansas City.
yeah, it looked like it was crowded.
It's a pretty big number. The total unduplicated audience for the 3-day NFL draft.
What does unduplicated mean, sir?
Individual. People who watched over 3 days. If you watched Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you got crowded as one person.
Oh,
You were
okay.
one person.
Fair. Okay.
54.4 million.
That's
a
great.
lot. It's a lot of people watching fake sports.
Well, no, it's not fake. That's as real as it gets. It's an awesome thing to watch. It's not an awesome thing to bet or to book.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest. I mean, did you watch it?
Parts of it, yeah. I watched the beginning of the
What's
second
the
round.
deal with Raj and the dab ups and the hold on to the hugs and the awkward hug for 30 seconds with some of these kids? What is that?
Trying to be the dad. You got a friend in me.
Are they protecting the flank friends or what kind of friends?
Neither. Well, first and foremost, he's always protecting the shield. He's always doing. He's never
right.
He's never not protecting the shield.
Protect that shield, but it's awkward.
I don't.
I mean, he's holding on, like they just got off of a, like Castaway. Like
he wants to
Tom
be dad.
Hanks
Yeah,
got off the island. Like
he's dad.
Here.
Yeah, he's dad. But he's also saying something to the kids when he's hugging them.
What's he saying? That's what it's a lot of times he's whispering in his ear, like, "Hey, man, I hope you get that next deal. It's gonna be great. Welcome to the
or it's somebody like the kid from Alabama, the safety that didn't get drafted in the first round that was still in the green room. Will Levis went home after he didn't get picked in day one. He was like, I'm not sitting in the green room anymore. He up and left.
Listen, you got to fire the agent that told you to go sit there. Because if you really thought from a Reddit stream or whatever that came from that your guy was getting drafted, I mean, how do you not know he's not getting drafted in the first 10? I think in that room.
Well, the curveball was Richardson, though. That was him going 4 to the Colts. They thought Levis was going to the Colts. Him going to the Colts. Richardson was supposed to be the one that dropped, not Levis. So that's what happened. The Colts taking Anthony Richardson made everything screw up, and every team after that had a quarterback. They didn't need one. So the Titans traded up in the second round and got him to come in, and he could be playing by week 4 or 5. But the contract is so much less. I mean, he's going to be so cheap for Tennessee. Huge deal for Mike Vrabel in Tennessee. That was brilliant.
I mean, it was brilliant in getting him. We'll see if it's worth it.
Well, if he's good, it's a home run.
Didn't they just draft a quarterback last year?
Well, Malik Willis is gone. I think they saw what they wanted to see out of Malik Willis. He won't be on the roster next year. And it'll be Tannehill.
Next year, meaning this season?
Willis won't be on the roster. This year, Malik Willis will not be on the roster. He will be traded or cut.
What a hard gig.
Yep. I mean, you saw him play last year. They don't believe in him. It's Tannehill, and then they'll develop Levis. He'll be the quarterback for the future.
Right.
They'll see what they do because they didn't trade Derrick Henry, so they're going to run it back for one more year. But they think that Levis could play relatively early in his career. So, guys, thank you for being here. I apologize for our technical difficulties. That was all me this time. I appreciate you hanging with us for this show. It was a lot of fun. We have more to come tomorrow. We've got other cool things starting. I'll explain more what's going on with Thrive Fantasy tomorrow on the show. They're a new sponsor. We got a new segment starting. Got a couple new segments starting that we're going to do coming up tomorrow. So thank you for being here. Good job out of Farra. Nice job with this. Dave, Matt, back tomorrow for a Tuesday's BVB.